Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video in which I will be sharing with you an 8-piece brush set from Makeup Elysium. If you're not new to my channel, you know I absolutely love makeup brushes. You may have found my channel through some of my makeup brush reviews. I have reviewed a lot of different lines of brushes and it's something I really enjoy doing on my channel. This particular set of brushes is by Makeup Elysium and it was gifted to me by the brand. However, I am definitely free to share my own opinion and experiences using the brush set. Now, before I get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Yori. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy this one and consider subscribing to my channel for a lot of fun makeup related content. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. I really appreciate it. And thank you especially to the first 5 commenters on my previous video. It means a lot that you take the time to engage with my content and I really enjoy hearing what you have to say about the products featured on my channel. Those that do have YouTube channels will have the YouTube logo and be linked down below in the description box in case you're interested in supporting some of my YouTube friends. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this video. It's a very interesting story how I came to know about this brand. One of my friends, Britt, thank you so much, she actually sent me a link to the Instagram account of Makeup Elysium and let me know that they have a brush named Yori. And that's so interesting because my name is very, very unique. It's just not something I see very often. So when I saw that they had a brush named Yori, and here it is, I started following the brand and I was looking through their website. The brushes look really, really nice. And I just reached out to them and just told them, my goodness, you have a brush named Yori? I'm so surprised. My name is Yori, and they actually responded to me right away and they were like, oh, that's a really interesting coincidence. And I'm like, I absolutely love makeup brushes. We continued the conversation that way and they actually offered to gift me their entire brush line, which is a beautiful set of 8 vegan synthetic brushes. So I have the entire set right here, including the brush Yori, and I'm gonna show them to you individually as I usually do. I wanna show you close-ups of all of the brushes. There's 4 face brushes and 4 eye brushes. I'll give you information about the shapes and the prices of the brushes, and I'll also give you a little bit of information about how I personally like to use the brushes. And I've been playing with them. I put them through a couple of wash cycles because I wanted to make sure that they were really high quality and to really understand how the brushes would perform. You may have seen them in some of my videos here and there, and now that I've had time to play with them, I wanted to go ahead and share them with you. By coincidence, it just so happens that they're having a sale on their website. They didn't give me any affiliate link or anything like that to share with you today. They just gifted me the brushes since I was interested in reviewing them, but they put no conditions and there's no monetary gain that I'm getting from making this video. I will be sharing close-ups of the brushes as well as information about each individual brush along with their retail price, but right now they're actually having a sale on their website. So if you wanted to check them out, this is a great time to do so because the brushes are marked down quite considerably. In addition to the brushes, they also gifted me a collection of eyelashes. They have 5 eyelashes in their line. They're all synthetic and they're really, really beautiful lashes. They all have like color accents on them. I'm wearing a pair right now. This pair is called Spicy and I'll be sure and show you those up close as well so that you can take a look at them. Also show you a demo on how I created this makeup look using this set of brushes. So let's go ahead and start looking at the brushes one by one. The first brush I wanted to share with you is Yori, and this is a round top blending brush. All of these brushes are going to be vegan and synthetic fiber, so I won't keep repeating that kind of information, but basically this is an oval top round brush with long fluffy bristles, and as you can see, the tip is tapered. So if you're a person that's very lucky and has a natural crease, you would probably love this brush because it goes right into the crease and diffuses color beautifully. Now, I have hooded eyes and I'm still able to enjoy this brush because it is a smaller size blending brush, and I find that it's beautiful for applying my initial transition shade, and I can work my way down to darker colors with it as well, and I get a really beautiful diffused application. The brush retails for $19, but it's currently priced on sale for $14. Next, we have the Yori brush. This one retails for $19, but the sale price right now is $14, and this one is more of a flat top shader brush. It reminds me a lot of a MAC 217 because of the pinched ferrule. It gives it a little bit more of a flattened shape, but it's still fluffy and still very capable of blending. I do like to use this to apply color in my outer V, and then I can use it both horizontally as well as vertically to blend the shadows in the crease as well as towards my lid shade. So it's a really beautiful and versatile brush. Next we have the brush named Alva, and this is a flat synthetic brush. It's got really tightly packed bristles, but there's still movement amongst the bristles. It reminds me a lot of the shape of the original MAC 239, and what I like about this one is that since the bristles do have a slight bit of movement, it really grabs onto metallic shadows really well, and I'm able to use this to apply metallic eyeshadows right on my lid and get a really nice impactful application. Since the brush also has a little bit of movement, I've also worked with this one on the lower lash line, but my favorite way to use it is definitely to pack on shimmers right on the lid. This brush retails for $18, currently priced at $13. The last of the eye brushes is this little guy right here named Clio, and this is your typical dome-shaped pencil brush. The pencil brush has a little bit of give to it, so you can use it to blend as well as for a more defined application of product. I love using this one on the lower lash line. I also enjoy this one to intensify the outer V of my eye, as well as applying inner corner highlight. It's really perfect just to fit right in the inner corner of my eye and give me a highlight in that position. It's a really versatile brush in and of itself as well. This one retails for $16 and currently it's listed at $12. Let's go ahead and talk about the face brushes next. This one is Kian and it is the largest of the 8 brushes. This is a very fluffy powder brush. Typically retails for $35. I currently see it listed for $26, and this is a beautiful brush. It's super versatile. The bristles are super fluffy but dense enough to pack on color if that's what you wish to do. I've been using this brush predominantly for bronzer when I'm using powder bronzer, or I've been using it for buffing powders. As you know, I don't really set my foundation, and so I like to apply a light dusting of powder when I'm completely finished with my entire face of makeup, and I love using this to apply like my Guerlain Meteorites or my Hourglass finishing powders. It is so soft, it doesn't disturb the makeup underneath, and it's a pleasure to use. It's really good for bronzer as well because it does have a pinched ferrule and you can really get along the hairlines, and it's fluffy enough to diffuse your bronzer beautifully. So this is Kian. This is Jada and it is your rounded foundation brush. This brush is really dense, but the bristles are very soft and rounded on the edges. I find that that rounded shape allows me to get a beautiful application of foundation, and I can really go around my nose, between my eyebrows, and get a really nice, beautifully blended foundation look. I've used it to blend both stick and liquid foundations, and it works beautifully for both. It's interesting that it's so dense, yet it doesn't absorb a lot of product. So when I apply foundation, the foundation is able to blend throughout my entire face, and I don't have to go in with extra product because the brush really just diffuses it all out and doesn't really absorb the product. It's really nice and really soft. Jada usually retails for $30 and it's currently priced at $22. Next we have the brush named Yori, which it's so funny to me, but this is a beautiful angled cheek brush. The retail price of this one is typically $32 and it's now on sale for $24. And as you can see, it's got a nice slant. It's very fluffy, very soft, and my favorite use for this brush is for contour. I love blending out cream contour with it because it goes right in the hollows of my cheek. I've also used it for cream bronzer as well as cream blush, and it also applies powder brush beautifully because of its shape. It's really nice to use on the apples of your cheeks as well. I can't deny I may be a little biased, but I really think this is my favorite brush out of the entire line. Next we have the brush named Posse, which is short for pacifier because of its shape. You'll see that it's a domed type of concealer brush, but it does have a tip right on the front, which is kind of like a pacifier. I've never had a brush like this in my collection, so it's really unique. This is the only brush in the entire collection that is limited edition, and there is a fundraising aspect from this brush. They're donating 50% of the purchase price of this brush to the HK Breast Cancer Foundation, so it's really nice to have them work with a charitable organization that focuses on breast cancer. This is a brush that I've been using for concealer, but also to contour my nose because of its shape and the way it deposits product. product. It's really, really clever for using around the eye. Usually as part of my reviews, I include a portion about the purchasing process. However, I mentioned these brushes were gifted to me, but I can't describe the shipping process, and they came in this beautiful box with the company logo on there, so it was very securely packaged for their trip overseas. The brushes themselves were inside these pouches. They are like zip pencil type pouches, and each individual brush was inside a plastic sleeve with an even firmer brush shaper sleeve on the inside. So they were all individually packaged and also protected with this heavier material. So as you can see, I've got two. One was for the face brushes and the other one was for the eye brushes. From the company, I was in communication with someone named Sam who kindly took the opportunity to explain to me a little bit about the business practices. I find that it's a business with a lot of integrity. They treated me so nicely with no expectation of anything in return after they gifted me the brushes. There was no pressure on time or anything specific. Like I said, this isn't a partnership where I'm going to be making any money from any links or anything like that, though of course I will leave their website linked in the description box down below in case you want to check them out, and also their Instagram. And if you check out their Instagram, please let them know that I sent you so that they know that I'm sharing how much I'm enjoying their beautiful brushes. So with regard to the brushes, they are made in Italy. However, this is a company that is based out of Hong Kong, and they explained to me that Hong Kong is actually a special administrative region of China, and so their laws and culture can vary quite a bit from China itself. As such, their brushes are 100% vegan and cruelty-free. Now, personally, you know I'm not a cruelty-free blogger. I have brushes made of animal hair. I absolutely love them, and I definitely use all brands, not necessarily those that are cruelty-free, but I thought that this set was really nice to share with you to give you vegan and cruelty-free options, since I do know that a lot of people are very interested in cruelty-free beauty, and I definitely respect that. It's been an absolute pleasure communicating with the company and learning a little bit more about them, and I'm really happy to share this review video to give you a little bit of information about the company and my personal experience with them. Now, the brushes are made in Italy, so they are stamped and labeled as such. Their hair type are synthetic fibers, as I mentioned, but they are made to mimic pattern of natural hair so that they can grab onto product and deposit and diffuse it beautifully. The brushes are also designed with shape memory, and this is something that I can attest to, whereas when you wash the brush, it retains its original shape. I have put the brushes through numerous wash cycles, especially since I've been using some of these with really bright pigments, and I have found that I don't have to use brush shapers or any additional tools to get the brushes to go back to their original shape. The handles are made of recyclable plastic, and they do have printing there. They have the name of the brush, they'll have the logo of Makeup Elysium, and then they are stamped as made in Italy, and this is indelible printing which should not rub off with use over time, which is something that I really enjoy because some of my brushes, I love on my brushes a lot, and so I use them a lot, and I have found that sometimes I can't even tell what number or name the brushes are because they have rubbed off, and this is supposed to not do that. The brushes are said to be dermatologist tested, hypoallergenic, and suitable for sensitive skin. Let's go ahead and see these babies in action. Let's rewind time a little bit so you can see how I created this makeup look. I'm loving my makeup today, and I really enjoyed the application process using my Makeup Elysium brushes. I'm going to be focusing on the brushes for today, so if you're interested in the products that I'm using, I will leave them all linked in the description box down below, but the eye look that I'll be creating today will be from the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I'm just going to be doing something neutral and quick today, as I just want to demonstrate the brushes for you. There are 4 eye brushes in the set. There's one that's more of a rounded blender. Then we have a MAC 217-like brush that is a little bit more flat, but it's also fluffy, so still good for blending. We have a pencil brush, and then we have like a packing brush, and I'm going to use this to apply shimmers. If you've been watching more of my videos, you will have seen these brushes in action in some of my other demos. So I was using it most recently in the Give Me Glow video that I did, where I created 2 looks using the Vivid Rose palette. This brush is called Yori, and it's really great for blending. I enjoy it for applying my first transition shade, as well as for diffusing out color as I go. It's really, really nice for that. And if you have a natural crease, you'll probably love this brush because the tip is slightly pointed, and so it would be depositing the greater amount of color right in your crease where you would want it, and so I think you would really enjoy this one. I'm going to use the same brush with a slightly deeper shade and focus that more in my natural crease, which is kind of where my eye folds, but I can still get a little bit of definition in that area. So you can see that the brush does pick up the color really well, and it also blends it with the other product. I've already washed several times, and I enjoy that I don't have to use brush shapers to get them to return to their original shape. The bristles do return to their original shape on their own. Now I'm switching brushes, and I'm going in with the brush Yori. This is the one that reminds me a lot of the MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to use it to pack color in the outer V of my eye, and then I will turn it on its side and also blend the color inward. So you can see if you use the brush long ways, you can use it to blend the colors with the other colors on your lid, and it works really well. And now I'm gonna go ahead and use Yori to give it one last blend before I apply my metallic shade. Now I'm switching to the brush Alva, which is like a flat packing brush, and I'm applying a metallic shade all over the lid. As you can see, my brush is completely dry, so this intensity that you're getting is just from me using slightly packing and swiping motions on my lid. I like that this brush has kind of a rounded shape, so I can give the illusion of, you know, kind of a somewhat of a cut crease look without actually cutting my crease, and I really like that as well. I'm going to use the same brush but the other side of the brush to apply a lighter shimmer to the inner part of my eye, kind of as an inner corner highlight, but also to blend into that gold shade. And again, I'm using the eyeshadows completely dry so that you can see how it's able to pack on some of those metallic shades. Now I'm going to go back into the Yori brush and give it one last blend along with the metallic shade so that I can intensify the outer corner. And now with Yori, I'm going to give it one last blend just on the edges of everything we did to give it a really diffused look. I do want the greatest density to be right on the center of my eyes, so I'm just deepening that up a bit. And then I'm doing the same with the lighter shade. So you can see with the curvature of the brush, I can really emphasize the curvature of my eye shape. So as you can see, we have a very soft sunsetty look kind of going on. I'm going to pause here, get the other eye caught up to speed, and be back to work on the complexion brushes. All right, eyes all caught up, and I want to demonstrate the foundation brush. So I'm going to demo it with my Tom Ford Traceless Stick Foundation. Their foundation brush is called Jada, and it is a rounded, very, very dense brush. And I've enjoyed using this with my liquid and stick foundations very, very much. I find that it doesn't absorb a lot of the product, and I can get a really nice blend, and I can use swiping as well as slightly buffing motions, as you'll see. And one of the nice things that I like is that it doesn't leave streaks. I don't feel inclined to go over my foundation with a beauty blender or anything like that. It gives me a really nice blend, and I can blend the foundation down my neck as well. And I like the size because it's just large enough that I can work relatively quickly, but also small enough that I can get around my brows right around the side here, especially because I like to have my brows done before I start doing my makeup. I know they would probably look a lot better if I did it afterwards, but for some reason I need my face framed prior to me going on with any other product. I can also use this for cream bronzer if I want a really intense bronze look. I've also used this brush to blend out cream blush, and it works well for that as well, especially if I want to build the color up. Another thing I really like about this brush is that it doesn't really absorb the product, so it allows me to blend out the product I actually apply to my face, and I don't have too much product left over on the brush, so it saves me the amount of product I'm using as well. It's just a really really nice brush. Alright, so we have a light layer of foundation applied. I want to demonstrate a really interesting brush to their line. This is the Posse brush, I think it is, and it's shaped kind of like a nipple. If you can see, it's rounded like a concealer brush, but then it has that slight edge. And I have found that this edge it's really useful for getting right underneath the lower lash line, but also if I'm picking up a cream contour product, I have found that I can pick it up on the tip to paint it on, you know, kind of position the product where I want it and then blend it out with the rest of the brush. So it's a really interesting brush and one that has a fundraiser aspect to it as well, which I'm sure I've already told you about in the intro. This is a very nice dense brush similar to the foundation brush, and you can see that if I kind of brush along the side like this, along my lower lash line, that tip gets really close to my under eye and it doesn't drag a lot of product up there, so I don't have to worry about it causing my product to crease either. Also gets really close to the inner corner without disturbing the eyeshadow that I've already put down. So it's a really interesting brush. I don't have anything like it in my collection. As I understand it, I don't think they are the first brand to come up with a shape like this, but it's the first one that I've personally seen. So again, the density of the brush allows the product to stay on my skin. It doesn't soak up the product at all, which is something that I really enjoy. And again, just going right underneath, I can feel the little tip right underneath my lower lash line. So I know I'm getting the concealer right up to the lower lash line. One thing about that concealer, it's a little bit more yellow toned, so it's showing up a little bit darker than my foundation, but I'm just going to blend it downward, and once I powder it down, it's going to look fine. So again, if I run the brush right in here where my eyes are really deep set, I can feel that tip of the brush really doing the blending for me right along my eyeshadow, it's really nice. It's a really interesting thing. Another thing that I can do with it is clean up the eyeshadow, so I can kind of drag my concealer upward in that angled shape, and I really like to use patting motions to get the concealer to really sink in. It's really nice. My concealer is set, and so I want to use a contour, and I was going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood contour one because I love it so much, but you all know that one, anything can blend out that contour. So I wanted to use something that's a little bit more firm. I mean, this is not difficult to blend out by any means either, but it is a little more so than the Charlotte Tilbury one. This one is the one by Westman Atelier. And I want to showcase my favorite brush from the collection. This one is called Yori, and it's the brush that started this all. It's a very nice, dense, angled brush, and I do love to use it to blend out my cream contour. So I'm just using tapping motions, and it's got the perfect shape to get you to fit right underneath that cheekbone. Like I feel it kind of tuck right underneath my cheekbone and sculpt out my face. Look at that. It leaves a really nice natural looking contour. I've also used this brush for cream and powder blushes as well as cream and powder bronzers, and it works so nicely in that way as well. You can see I just kind of let the brush do the work for me. I'm just tapping over where I painted the product. Tap, tap, tap. And it creates such a nice natural contour. I love it so much. And again, the thing I admire the most about these brushes is that they just don't absorb a lot of the product. They really leave it on your skin and blend it out where it's supposed to be. I just want to add a little more on this side. So pretty. So pretty. I love it so much. Actually, since I already applied my concealer, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I use the concealer brush or the Posse brush. I will paint on the contour, you see, and then I will press a little bit harder so that the rest of the brush blends it out. We can do the same right underneath the lower lip to get that pouty look. Super pretty. I'm gonna demo the same brush using cream bronzer. So I have the one by Fenty Beauty here, and I just go right into the product with the brush, and then I apply it a little higher than my contour. And this is the one that I'll bring up on my forehead as well. So again, I can kind of feel where my cheekbone is, and I'm going right on it. The angle shape makes it so easy to go along your hairline as well. It just brings a really nice warmth to your face. So as you can see with the bronzer, I apply it more like vertical with the fat side upward so that it blends it out. With the contour, I went right in the angle of the contour, but the bronzer is something that I want to look a little bit more diffused, more natural, and well blended. There's one more brush that I want to show you in the collection, and this one is Kian, and this is a really nice fluffy brush. I like to use it for finishing powder personally. I can also use it for powder bronzer, but I want to demonstrate my favorite brush a little bit more, which is why I showed you Yori with the cream bronzer. But I will be using this one for finishing powder. You can also use it for blush, but I wouldn't recommend it with too pigmented of blushes since it's very large and you can easily go overboard. But I want to demonstrate it for finishing powder. So I want to apply a little bit of blush and a little bit of highlight, and then we'll get back to finishing the lower lash line. Alright, so we're getting back to the eye brushes, and there's one I haven't shown you yet, which is the pencil brush, and this one is Clio. I'm going to use it to apply my inner corner highlight, and then I'm going to use it on my lower lash line as well. So I want to start with the inner corner highlight since that's going to be a lighter shade. It's basically the shade that I had applied before, but I want to intensify it and run it under my lower lash line as well. This is a really nice tiny pencil brush, and it's perfect for detail work like this. I ran it over a microfiber sponge, and I'm going to take a deeper brown shade, and I'm going to apply that all along the lower lash line, just up to kind of the center, for a little bit of definition. It's a really nice pencil brush, really soft, and it makes it very easy for me to get very close to my lashes. I'm loving the way my makeup is turning out today. I know the perfect lip color that I'm going to wear. I'm bringing this color into the upper lid just a little bit. This is why I didn't apply my mascara or anything just yet, because I wanted to see how it's going to blend with the colors on the lower lash line. This brush is perfect for lower lash line work. And now I'm going to take Yori and I'm going to kind of diffuse that out a little bit using a slightly lighter shade. So I put just a little bit of color on the brush, and I'm just going to run it horizontally along the lower lash line. And this color, since it's a little bit lighter, I am carrying it into the inner corner and then just blowing it out a little bit. Because of the pinched ferrule, this brush is also really easy to use along the lower lash line. I also like how soft the brushes are, because if I was using something scratchy on the lower lash line, it would make my eyes water and ruin this makeup look, which is looking so pretty. For buffing, I'm going to use my meteorites, and you can see that the brush fits very nicely into my Guerlain meteorites. For buffing, I usually use hourglass powders or these, and you can see how the Kian brush just works really well for a final buff. I never skip buffing, and I really enjoy this brush for that. It's really good. It gives me like a really nice light set, especially when I've applied so many cream products, without giving me a cakey look, since this is a very luminous product. This is such a soft brush. It's not disturbing any of the products that I have underneath. And again, because it has the pinched ferrule, it allows me to get, you know, around my nose, between my eyebrows. It's a really, really nice soft brush. I'm so happy with the way my makeup is looking today. Even without mascara or lipstick, I feel like it still looks super pretty. But I want to try out their lashes. They sent me their entire line of their lashes. There's 5 of them. I'm sure I already showed you close-ups. And this one is in the style Spicy, and they have orange on them. And so I think that it might go really well with my eye look. Let's take a close look at them. So those are the Spicy lashes. My eyes are really small, but I think I can cut these in half and get 2 half lashes. And I think, why not wear the ones with the orange? It'll be so much fun. I miss the days when I was dancing, because these would be so perfect for stage. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna apply a little mascara, cut these, and I'll come back to show you the application so we can see how they look. Okay, I'm back, and I had some success. I went ahead and I cut the lashes, so you could see that those are the 2 other halves, which will serve me really well for an outer V lash, which is something I really enjoy, because look at the shape that it gives my eye. And look at the orange. You see it? Isn't that fun? So I have the other one here so that I can show you how I apply it. Essentially, I'm just going to place it. I already let the glue kind of get tacky a little bit. I'm going to place it more towards the outer part of my eye. I did apply a little bit of liner because the lash band on this particular style is a little bit thicker. That looks about even, right? And then once I have them where I want them, I press them in with my natural lashes, and it just gives my eye this elongated look that it doesn't have naturally. So much fun. I also use this tool to kind of fuse them together so that my natural lashes blend in with the false lashes. Now I'm just kind of fanning them out a little bit, but I can definitely see the little touch of orange, and it is so fun. I love that so much. How fiery is this eye look? Anyway, I did want to focus on the brushes, but I wanted to share their eyelashes since that was something that they shared with me as well, so that you can get some idea of how they work. I love these styles. This one has a little bit of purple on it. These would be great for my dance performances. They're so bold and beautiful. If your eyes are a little smaller like mine, these with green in the outer corner, oh my gosh, gorgeous. These are the style Cactus, and these have more of like that thinner band, which is super easy to disguise. So if you are shopping their brand and you want to toss a pair of lashes in your cart, this style Cactus, gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and get some clothes on since I usually film in my pajamas, and I will be back to share my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed seeing the demo of all of the brushes. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm curious to hear what you're thinking and what you think of my makeup look overall. I'm so thrilled to be sharing these brushes. They are definitely a luxury brush. They have a very nice weight to them. They are very balanced in my hands. The bristles are very, very soft, and they wash and dry very, very nicely as well. I'm really thrilled with the brushes. If you're interested in trying out the best of the best, Yori is my favorite brush. As you saw when I was applying it, it is perfect for applying cream contour. It blends it out so nicely. It's just the perfect shape. It almost automatically goes where your cream contour will go. If you use this brush vertically like this, you can apply cream bronzer as I did today. You can also use it to apply blush. It's just a really versatile brush in its shape. I like going along my hairline with it. This is my #1 recommendation for the brushes. I really, really love this one. The other two larger face brushes are absolute fantastic brushes as well. Just beautiful, beautiful performance. They're gorgeous brushes, and they're definitely on par with high-end brushes. I would compare these to brushes made by Hourglass or the higher end brushes by IT Cosmetics, with the exception that these handles, they feel more weighty and more luxurious than the IT Cosmetics brushes. Definitely two solid brushes between Kian and Jada. Definitely good brushes. Of note is the Posse brush. I love the charitable aspect of this brush, and I also love that I have absolutely nothing of this shape in my collection. And as you can see, I can use it to really clean up the edge of my eyeshadow. To apply concealer right underneath my lower lash line, I just have to lay the brush kind of on its side and blend, and it does all the work for me. Same for contouring along the sides of my nose. It's a really interesting shape brush. From the 4 eye brushes, they are a really good set of basic eye brushes with all the shapes that you would need to create pretty much any eye look. You have a blending brush, a flat blending brush, a packing brush, and a pencil brush. So they all performed beautifully. If I had to select a favorite, I was really impressed with Alba. This is a brush that can be used to pack on color really well. And what I like about it is that yes, it's dense and the bristles are firm, but they have a little bit of movement. So if I wiggle them in a metallic shadow, I can see the product sitting right between the bristles. And then when I go to apply it, it gives that beautiful application. As you saw in the demo, I applied these shades completely dry. There was no setting spray or dampening of the brush. I don't do that. And I found that this brush deposits the color so well on the lid. And I know that's something that we always frequently look for. In my personal opinion, there's no substitute for using your fingers, but I do enjoy using the MAC 239. And this brush Alba is one that actually really impressed me, and you saw for yourself in the demo. Nori is a really beautiful blending brush, and again, if you have a crease, I think you would love this brush. It has kind of like that domed shape. It's pointier at the tip, and if it would just go right in the crease and diffuse color beautifully. So if you are gifted with a natural crease, this is definitely a brush I would pick up. And the other two, Cleo and Zuri, beautiful, very useful brush shapes as well. But I did want to share my personal favorite favorites with you in case you were looking to pick and choose between the brushes. As I mentioned at the beginning, Makeup Elysium also makes eyelashes, and these are synthetic eyelashes. Their eyelashes are made in Indonesia, and they have 5 styles right now. Now, I found that the styles are quite large, and it's nice because you can always cut them to fit your eye shape. Now, the ones that I'm wearing today are in the style Spicy, and I did cut them in half as I described in the demo, but I absolutely love what they're doing for my eyes. Look at this elongated shape and that pop of color. I absolutely love them. I'm having so much fun with these. All of the lashes are retail priced $11, marked down to $8, except for Cactus, which is a thinner single layer one. These have 3 layers. The Cactus ones typically retail for $8 and they're marked down to $6. If you're a beginner with lashes, I would definitely go with the Cactus ones because, again, they're only a single layer and the band on this is a little bit more narrow. The other lashes are definitely something very bold, very dramatic, and like I said, for dance performances and stage makeup, oh my goodness. But even so, I'm loving the effect that these had on my eyes. Wow. Love them. According to the information on the card that they sent me, the lashes can be used up to 10 times. They don't recommend soaking them or wetting them. They just recommend brushing through any kind of debris you may have from your eye makeup. And they do not recommend that you apply mascara directly to them. And I can totally see that because they're very fluffy. And if you cake them up, they would kind of lose that fluffy nature. But these lashes. So cute. That's everything that I had for today's video. I absolutely understand if right now you're not wanting to invest in brushes like this, but I will definitely leave the company's website as well as their Instagram account, and I do encourage you to go check them out. Leave them a nice message, give them a follow, because I think that they're a company that has really nice products. And again, my personal favorites from the face brushes is Yori. From the eye brushes, it's Alva, but absolutely all of the brushes are beautiful, really well made, really high quality, and super functional. I especially love the fact that they work equally well with powder as well as cream products. The only brush I wouldn't use with a cream product is Kian, because this is very clearly a fluffy powder brush. That's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the brush collection that I shared here with you today. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and join my makeup family. I would love to have you join me for a future video. That being said, I hope you're doing really, really well, having a lovely holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.